It's been so long since I made a video. I'm so sorry. So in case you're new here, my name is Danielle. I'm 27 years old and I'm pregnant with my husband and I's first baby, and we're so excited. So I haven't made a video update in a while because so much has been going on. Not so much with the baby, but just like in my life in general. I actually have a career change going on. I'm completely changing my career while pregnant, which is it's stressful and it's really tiring, but it's really exciting and it really needed to happen for a million reasons. So my original career was a recreation therapist, which you could look it up. I mean, I went to college for it for 4 years. It's a very creative and you work basically with populations such as kids with disabilities or the elderly or rehab or physical therapy kind of thing. So you work with physical therapy, occupational therapy, things like that. So I did that for 5 years in my life, and I worked at the same place for 5 years. And I did not love it, unfortunately. There were certain things I liked about it, but then there were certain things I did not. So this career was very 9 to 5, very corporate, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with corporate. Corporate is okay. I don't have a problem with the company that I worked for or with the people that I worked with. It's just that the actual job and career was not going to work for me long term. So I needed to find something that would work for me. I really needed something that would allow me to work per diem. So when the baby is really little, or when I have more kids and they're really little, I could just work per diem when my husband is at work. So my husband is a pharmacist, so his job is definitely more of the money-making career than mine. So I definitely need to work, no matter what. Whether it's per diem, part-time, eventually full-time when the kids are grown. I'm the type of person that needs to work. I cannot be a stay-at-home mom. Even though he would probably make enough where we would not need me to work, I just personally can't do that. I need to have a job. I need to be busy other than just being home, being a mom. Nothing wrong with being a staying-at-home mom. Nothing wrong with that. To anybody out there who is a stay-at-home mom, that is great if you have that type of attention span, and I just cannot do it. So I really, really like to work. I've always liked to work. I have been working since I was 15 years old at a restaurant, I guess I'll call it. I don't want to give names of the places I work, just, whatever. But I've loved that job forever. So I've literally worked there since I was 15, and I even kept that job till this present day. I still work there part-time. So for ever, I was doing, for 5 years, really, I was doing full-time at the hospital. So I would work from 9 to 5, and then I'd go to my other job, my little restaurant job as a manager, and work there from 6 to 11, 4 days a week. So I was always super busy working, and I just love it. I like to save money. No, it's not even about the money. I like to work. It's weird. So my husband is also a super, super hard worker. He as well worked 2 jobs for the longest time. He would work full-time at one pharmacy hospital and then do part-time at another hospital pharmacy. So we've both been working for just so long, nonstop. And at times it did get really hard because we are trying to save for our own house. We currently live at my parents-in-law's old house, so they let us rent the house from them, their old house, while they moved into a new house. So we're currently just paying them a very, very fair rent. So we're so blessed in that sense that they're allowing us to do that, because we're saving money to have a nice big down payment for our own future home. So that's what we really, really wanted to do, and we've been working at that basically before we got married. So a long time. I mean, we've had this plan forever. My husband and I, when we first met, he always told me that he was going to marry me and that we were going to just work so hard to make our lives as best as we can, especially for our future kids. And now that I actually am pregnant with our first child, we're trying to get in as much work as we can before she's born. But then when she is born, we do want to cut back on some of like the crazy hours we've been working, because we do want to like spend time with her and be present with her. And I personally would not want to send her to daycare, because my career, even my new career, it doesn't pay as much as it would to send her to daycare, especially in New Jersey. New Jersey is super expensive, like no matter what you do, where you live, like New Jersey is just insane. So it actually is cheaper for me to be home with her during the day and just work whenever like my husband is home, like, you know, per diem, which is what I really needed at this time in my life. So my new career is a pharmacy technician, which is so funny because my husband is a pharmacist. Yes, he did teach me a lot and did get me into it, and I'm so excited to start. I mean, I'm nervous, don't get me wrong, because it's literally an entire different and new thing than what I was doing in the past. My old job was very like creative and like public speaking and things like that, and this job is more you know, technical and more tedious and more, it's just different in a good way though. You do get to like go around the hospital and like deliver meds, so you get to move around a lot, which I like. I hate sitting still. I'm not the kind of person that can sit still. Sorry about that. So yeah, so I switched careers and I actually start my orientation next week, and I start like training for basically like 3.5 weeks, almost the entire month of November. So during my training, I will be doing 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the hospital training, and then I'll be doing 3 to 11 at my other manager job, which by the way, so when I left my old career, they actually had just offered me the position to be the director, but again, I had to decline because it just wouldn't have worked with what was going on and wouldn't have worked long term, and it really just wasn't what I wanted. So I actually left that job right after the pandemic in July. So the pandemic during my old job was absolute hell. So I don't want to say names of like where I worked, because that's just like not what I'm trying to do here, but I think every single hospital / nursing home / rehab facility got hit really hard with the virus, especially in New Jersey, New York. I don't know if you remember back in like April, May, especially March too. So my hospital also has a nursing home / subacute rehab facility attached to the hospital. So during the pandemic, I was basically working a lot in that population, and it was really sad and really hard because a lot of our patients did pass away. And one of my responsibilities during the pandemic was to actually FaceTime with families. And it was really sad because sometimes the FaceTime call would be a goodbye call to their family. Sorry about all this noise in the background. I'm not home. It's just really loud in here. So one of my responsibilities during the pandemic was to actually FaceTime with family members. And sometimes it was the last time they were going to ever see their family member alive. It was really scary. The residents and the patients, you know, were really sick. A lot of them did pass away. We had to go in there, you know, fully gowned. Our facility did have an adequate amount of PPE, so I always felt protected. It wasn't like, you know, I didn't have a mask or I didn't have a gown. Like, we were very fully protected, and thankfully, thank God, nobody in my department at least got the virus, so that was excellent. But it was overall just a really traumatic and sad experience to see all these people passing away, all these people just sick, and yeah, it was pretty traumatizing, to be honest with you. But I know that everything I did at that job was super important, and it helped so many people, and even though that wouldn't be the type of goodbye they would want to have with their family, I'm happy that I was able to facilitate that type of communication between family members. And, you know, during that time, it was really hard. I mean, every day that I woke up and had to go to that job during the pandemic, I felt sick to my stomach. It was really, really hard. So things started to get better at that job with the pandemic, at least in about, I would say like May or June, things started to lighten up. And my old boss at that job, who I'm really close with, by the way, we still talk and everything, she left because her mom is elderly and she didn't want to like risk it. So she actually took a family leave during the pandemic, so I was kind of in charge of the whole department during the pandemic. So she ended up quitting and not wanting to come back even when things calmed down. So they just offered me the job since I've been doing it anyway. And, you know, they just said I was always so good at it and that I would be a great leader and director of a department. But again, it just wasn't going to work out. So I had to decline and move on with my new career. I did actually have this new career in mind even before the whole pandemic started. I actually got my license to be a pharmacy technician in December of 2019. So I've had this plan for a really long time. I just never, I guess, acted on it because I guess I wasn't exactly ready to leave my old job yet. And then the pandemic hit and nobody was like hiring, nobody was doing interviews, nobody was doing anything. So I had to just stick where I was, stick it out, you know, help the residents, help the patients as best as I could, and just wait for a better opportunity. So in July, when they offered me the director position, I did have to decline, and that is also when I left my job. So at that time, I actually just switched over to doing full-time instead of, part-time at the manager position I have at the restaurant. So I've been doing that full-time while I was getting a job as a pharmacy technician. So I actually just got my job as a pharmacy technician about, like 3 weeks ago. It takes a really long time to get a job at a hospital because you need to do like a physical, you need to do a drug test, you need to do background check, you need to do, it's like a million steps. So finally I have orientation next week. Then I have training for 3 weeks, and then I'm in. I have a per diem position, which is exactly what I wanted. So when baby girl's here, I could work per diem on like every third weekend or something, and if anybody else in the department needs to go on vacation, like I could take their shift, and we could work that out with my husband and I's schedule because he works 7 to 3, and he works some weekends, but we'll just always alternate weekends that we're working. So when I'm working, he'll be home with the baby, and I'm also going to continue to do my manager, like nighttime restaurant position, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week. So when my husband gets home at 3, I can go to work from like 4 to 11 a couple of days a week. So we'll just like both be like switching back and forth. I'm sure it'll be hard, but that's the plan for now. If it doesn't work out, I could always cut back hours on the restaurant job. But I'm just like really excited to start my new career, and yeah. So moving on to another topic is redoing the baby's room. So like I said, we actually rent from my husband's parents, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and their house is kind of small, but nothing wrong with it. It's a really cute house. It's very old. Again, nothing wrong with the old house. It's just an old house comes with like a lot of, I guess, issues. So we've had a couple electrical issues. We've had, I mean, the floor is kind of like destroyed. It has like a little water damage. It's not the best, but it's not the worst, and we're so thankful again because it's just such a blessing that they're letting us live there, and we're so thankful for them and for them letting us do that. So the baby's room was actually, it was the guest room, so we're turning that into the baby's room now. They said, you know, do whatever you want with the room. You can paint it whatever color. You can take the carpet out. You can do whatever you want. So that's exactly what I did. I mean, I was not going to leave the carpet there. The carpet was like smelling, and it wasn't good. So the carpet had to go. So we ripped the carpet out. My dad, thankfully, he is like the most handiest man in the entire universe. He has like redone houses from like top to bottom by himself. He is like God's gift for everything repairs. So I'm like super thankful. We didn't have to hire anybody to do anything except for change the windows in the room. The windows in the house are really old. One second. They're really old, and so we're going to replace the windows in my husband and I's bedroom and in the future baby's bedroom because we just don't want any kind of like drafts or, you know, heat coming in or air conditioning coming in, because we do plan on staying there for another like two or so years. So we do have to get the windows replaced, so that we had to hire somebody. But everything else, my dad, he's the best. I love him so freaking much, and my mom too. My parents literally would do anything and everything for me. So lucky. So my dad ripped out the carpet. He put in a laminate floor, and putting in the laminate floor was not easy because the other floor was so warped and old that like the laminate floor wouldn't have just fit on top perfectly. So we had to do some work there. painted, spackled. He did electrical work for us because the house is so old that it doesn't even have like a light. Like when you walk in, you like hit a light switch. There's nothing in the ceiling. It's literally just like little lamps like plugged in. So he made it so like when I walk in the room, I actually have a light to put on. That is, yes, a light is something we're very thankful for at this point. So he did so much work in the room. I'm gonna do like a total room makeover video. I also ordered a lot of furniture already, but only because Amazon Prime had that Prime Day deal and I saved so much on the furniture, so I had to order it early. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have bought that kind of stuff yet. I did buy a couple... Sorry, I'm looking over here because I have like little notes written down. I did buy a couple like little clothes and stuff like that just because how could you not? I mean, I know I'm having a girl, so if I see something adorable, I'm going to buy it. My mom is like super excited and super involved, and like she's actually going to be coming to my 20-week anatomy scan because my husband could not get off of work. I mean, he tried really hard, but he can't get off. He came to every other scan. Luckily, the place I use, my OB, they allow one visitor per visit to every appointment. So my husband has come to all of those, but now he can't come to the 20-week anatomy scan, so my mom's going to be able to come, so she's going to be really excited. Okay, what else? The 18th of October was my husband and I's 1-year wedding anniversary. We're not like super like crazy, like, oh, we got to do something fancy. We're just very down to earth. All we did really was like order from the local restaurant because we're still not like super comfortable going out to eat and like eating indoors, and like it was too cold in New Jersey to eat outside, so we just ordered from a restaurant, picked up, ate it at home. He got me flowers, we carved a pumpkin, we ate 1-year-old wedding cake. Something I thought was cool was that babies are able to taste, I guess, inside your womb by like 16 or 17 weeks, and I was like, wow, she gets to try our wedding cake. So let me move on to some symptoms that I've been having. So I don't think I've updated you since the gender reveal, which was like week 13, and currently I am, what am I? I'm 18 weeks, so it's been a while. So I feel like I have a lot to talk about when it comes to baby. So I don't know if you've noticed throughout this video, but I'm very like out of breath. I get really out of breath out of nowhere for no reason at all. It's really frustrating. I don't know why that is. I've watched a lot of other YouTube videos, and this seems like a common thing for pregnant women, so I'm not too worried about it, but it's real. I have had the worst, like, sciatic pain on my left, like, butt slash back slash hip. It's like the weirdest spot to describe, but I'm assuming it's my sciatic nerve that the baby is like sitting on. The baby does like to be on the left side. I could always feel her on the left side. And that's the side that I feel this like sciatic nerve pain. It's pretty bad at some points. I noticed that my hair is kind of like falling out a lot. It's kind of sad. Like in the shower, I get like clumps of hair. I know that it's normal to lose a lot of hair in the shower, but this is like definitely more than usual. What else? So I have some back acne still, which I've had since the first trimester, that has not gone away. Something new, kind of disgusting, TMI, is I have like little skin tags growing on my nipples. Not fun, really gross. So I actually asked my OB about it, and like she looked at them and she was like, nope, that's completely normal, don't worry about it, like that's all hormonal. I was like, being pregnant is great. My boobs have gotten really big. That's cool. They don't hurt anymore. They hurt the whole first trimester. I'm very tired, which is also why I'm kind of freaking out about starting my new career while pregnant, because again, I'm the kind of person who needs to work, needs to be like doing something, always on the go. But while being pregnant, especially the second trimester, which is weird, usually it's just the first, but like this started for me in the second trimester and has only gotten worse, is that I am so tired. I could wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning, like have a full like 10 hours of sleep, and by like 2 o'clock I'm ready to take a nap. So I don't know how I'm going to survive working from like 7 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. when I get home, and then shower and then do it all again. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm pretty nervous about how my body is going to keep up with me this month. After my month of training is over, I do get to have like a more normal schedule. It's just that the training is pretty rigorous and long, so that's going to be the hard part, but it's all worth it in the end. I've been noticing that I'm not that comfortable while I'm sleeping. I wake up a lot of times during the night. I'm not even that big yet. I'll show you a picture of my belly in a little while, or a video of it, whatever. But I'm just not comfortable. I try not to sleep on my back because I heard that's not good. Sometimes I wake up on my back, so I don't know. What else? Sometimes I just feel really heavy and slow. I have gained 9 pounds, and I'm 18 weeks now, which is kind of a lot for me because I'm a really tiny person. I'm 4'8". I weigh, pre-pregnancy, I weighed 93 pounds, so I was tiny little. Now I am 99 pounds, which of course is not like crazy amount of weight, but for somebody my size, like 9 pounds is a lot. And I haven't really been eating like that crazy, at least I don't think I have. So I don't know where all this weight is going. I think it's like mostly on my belly, but I don't know. I'm trying not to like look at myself too much in the mirror because I mean, I know I'm pregnant and I need to like not be so hard on myself, but it is really hard to gain weight when you've been so like tiny your whole life. I still exercise, but not as much as I did before pregnancy, I guess. Before pregnancy, I would probably run like 4 times a week, just for like 2 miles or so, and I would do it in like under 23 minutes. Now, I run maybe 3 times a week, and I do it in like 28 minutes. So I definitely slowed down a lot, which is okay. I don't want to push myself too much, but I know exercising is really good for your body and for your baby, so I do want to keep it up for as long as physically possible. Something else. I'm carrying very wide. Like, I know a lot of people, when you see them pregnant, like from the front, you can like barely see that they're even pregnant, and then when they turn to the side, you're like, oh, they're pregnant. Me, you could like see I'm pregnant from the front. I don't know if it's just because I'm so small and I have a small torso and the baby has nowhere to grow, but yeah, that's another thing. So moving on to cravings. So my cravings have been a lot of fruit, which I think that's just me because I always like fruit. Chicken noodle soup. I love chicken noodle soup, so I don't know if that's like a baby craving. Bread. Always love bread. Again, that's me. But some weird things that I'm usually not into eating that I have been into eating are anything buffalo flavored. So like buffalo flavored chips, dipping things in buffalo sauce, buffalo chicken, anything buffalo I'm like all about lately, which is weird because I'm never really into buffalo like that. Another thing is Italian food. Again, I love Italian food. I am Italian. But like to the next level. Like there was a couple weeks where I ate like spaghetti for dinner like 5 times in the whole week. So that's been a big one. Anything like salt and vinegar. So like salt and vinegar chips have been awesome. I've been loving those. Anything citrus. Now this one is weird because normally I hate citrus. I don't like oranges. I don't like lemon, anything. But lately, anything citrus I've been loving. I've been having like lemon pasta, those little oranges, like really strange. So that is definitely the baby, not me. My appetite has been okay. I haven't been like super hungry or like super nauseous or anything. Just like very average. So I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm eating that much to be gaining that much weight, but I don't know. I'm just eating when I'm hungry, you know? So, back at 16 weeks, I had a limited anatomy scan. I will insert the little pictures that they printed out during that. They're nothing really that special, the pictures really, but the actual scan was really cool. You're not allowed to record during it. But they They confirmed that it was a girl, so that is great. I mean, they were like, oh, but you know, again, we'll confirm at 20 weeks to be absolutely positive. But as of right now, yeah, like we see the 3 little lines, it's a girl. Of course, they didn't print that picture out. Like I would like to have that, but whatever. I didn't see it on the screen, to be honest with you, so I don't know. But I trust that the ultrasound tech was accurate with that. And I had nips done that also said girl, so I'm pretty sure it's a girl. Let's hope so, because her room is already pink and she's got a ton of outfits, so hoping that's right. So during that anatomy scan, they said that she was in the 40th percentile in height and weight. I guess they measure from like rump to butt, and rump to butt. Wow, from head to rump. And she was in the 40th percentile, which is completely normal, not big, not small. We're like so curious to see what her size is going to be when she's like older though, because I'm so tiny. Like I said, I'm like 4'8", 90 something pounds my whole life. And my husband is humongous. He is 6'5", he weighs like 2 something. I mean, he's a big guy. So it's going to be really interesting to see the height and weight and body build of our future children. Something else we're going to have to be doing soon, which I'm not excited about, is getting a new car, at least for me. Because I drive a little Kia Forte coupe, and the 2-door car is going to be way too hard for me to lift a car seat in and out of. It also is not the best in the snow, and the tires kind of suck. So it's just not the best car to have, like while you have a child to take care of. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to get a new car. I love my car so much though, but yeah. So I'm thinking about getting like an SUV or something, so keep you updated on that. So when it comes to her name is actually going to be a secret until she's born. Like even for our closest family, nobody's going to know the name, just my husband and I. So I have loved baby names ever since I was in like, I don't know, grammar school. Like what kind of girl doesn't have a list of baby names on their phone that they love? But me and my husband made a deal with each other, and he won, and I'm going to stick to it. So I always had a boy name that I absolutely loved, and I told my husband we were dating. Like, if we have a son, like, this is his name. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, this is his name. And he was like, fine. Like, that's fine. Like, if you're going to pick the boy name, if we have a girl, I get to pick the girl name. And then, like, vice versa. So if we had, like, a girl first, like, he would pick the name, and then if we had another girl second, I would pick the name. If we had a boy first, I would pick the name, and then if we had a boy second, he would pick the name. Whatever it is, like, but if it was a girl for the first one, he picks the name. If it was a boy for the first one, I pick the name. 1 second. Okay, so, as I was saying, so if it was a girl, he gets to pick the name, and if it's a boy, I get to pick the name for the first baby at least. So, he won, and it is a girl. And it's not like, you know, I picked a name he hates, or he would pick a name I hate. It's like, you know, it has to be a name we at least like. So, all the girls' names I have on my list since I was a little girl are not being used for this baby. Which is okay, because the name, at first I was like, but like now it really grew on me. I really love it. It's a very unique name. It's probably not a name that you've heard before or met anybody with this name. But it's also not like a crazy made-up name where, like, if you see it, you're like, what is that? No. So I'm really excited about that. Nobody's going to know the name until she's born. Not my best friend, not my parents, not his parents, nobody. So, yeah. I think that's really it for this video. The only other thing I wanted to do is just show you the bump. And I wanted to tell you that my anatomy scan is going to be in 2 weeks from now. So I will definitely update you on how that went. So I'll just show you the bump real quick. Okay, I had to move to show you the bump better. So I'm like in sweatpants and like a t-shirt because the weather in New Jersey has been horrible, and I mean horrible. It has been raining for 5 days straight, and it is like cold for October. Tomorrow's Halloween, by the way. It's like in the 30s. This is just weather sucks. So yeah, I'm looking like a bum, just ignore that. But here's the bump at 18 weeks. Okay, I mean, yeah, there's definitely, this is the front. Again, I'm like carrying wide. Like, I never had like this much stuff going on here. And then this side. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll keep you updated. Bye, everybody.